4th of July, let us celebrate the spirit of freedom, honor our history, and cherish the unity that binds us as a nation. First Interstate Bank is here to serve our community with pride, from personal banking to commercial services. Connect with us for trusted financial expertise. Happy 4th of July. Brought to you by the employees at First Interstate Bank in Riverton and Lander. Visit firstinterstatebank.com.
Y2 Consultants is an engineering, planning, survey, and natural resources firm with offices in Pinedale, Jackson, and Cheyenne. Our team represents over 35 years of expertise enhancing the natural and built environment and is currently working on the Squaw-Baldwin Creek Loop strategic plan for Fremont County. From engineering design to environmental planning and permitting, let Y2 Consultants help you define, design, and deliver your next project.
Sometimes you're anticipating it. Sometimes it's unexpected. Occasionally it's something small. But most of the time, it's a pretty big deal. It's your best day ever. And Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union is proud of the part we play in making each of them happen. Whether opening your first savings account or moving into your dream home, Meridian Trust is there for all your best days.
Lander is an incredible place. Folks living here are really connected to their town and to each other. When problems arise, they come together to find solutions. Sometimes they just need a little help to put those solutions into place. And that's where the Lore Foundation can help. We support projects that are led by locals and that help Lander at large, like providing funding for bike racks on buses, and for the fireworks to help this year's 4th of July show go on. Reach out to us with your idea at lorefoundation.org.
You can hear my voice if you're awake this morning and ready to run. All right. We'll get kicked off in about 5 minutes.
Everybody set? Warmed up?
Meet Lloyd Larson, your experienced candidate for House District 54. With 12 years in the Wyoming State Legislature, Lloyd has tirelessly served the community of Lander and Wyoming. As a trusted Republican representative, Lloyd has led major committees, always listening to his constituents. We cherish our life in the great state of Wyoming, and Lloyd is here to keep it thriving. Learn more at lloydlarson.com. Paid for by the candidate. Discover amazing deals and unbeatable service at Les Schwab Tire Center in Riverton. With over 545 locations nationwide, we provide top-notch tire, wheel, and accessory services. Trust our professionals for quality you can count on. Enjoy up to $200 instant savings when you buy 4 select tires and 4 select wheels. Visit leschwab.com to learn more and schedule your appointment. Join us and experience the Les Schwab difference today.
On this 4th of July, let us celebrate the spirit of freedom, honor our history, and cherish the unity that binds us as a nation. First Interstate Bank is here to serve our community with pride, from personal banking to commercial services. Connect with us for trusted financial expertise. Happy 4th of July. Brought to you by the employees at First Interstate Bank in Riverton and Lander. Visit firstinterstatebank.com.
Welcome to the Hampton Inn, where it's easy to see the difference, the service, and of course, the happiness. So come for the clean, spacious rooms, the staff that goes above and beyond for your happiness, the speedy business center, and stay for breakfast that's to die for. Leg day every day. The best local knowledge, And if we have this much fun, just imagine how much fun you'll have staying with us.
And a very good Independence Day morning to you. Welcome to Lander, Wyoming's Main Street. Jared Anderson alongside Vince Tropea here on County 10's YouTube and KOVE 1330 AM 1077 FM. We are counting down the minutes until the Lander Pioneer Days Parade begins, the 130th Pioneer Days Parade, and glad to have you along wherever you're watching or listening from. Vince Tropea, it's a beautiful day for a parade in Lander, Wyoming.
We are in Lander, Wyoming on the 4th of July. Jared, is there anywhere you'd rather be?
Absolutely not. I have, as a 4th of July aficionado, I have looked across the country at 4th of July celebrations and thought maybe 1 or 2 years I want to go experience something else, but there's nowhere better than Lander, Wyoming. It is the place to be. It's one of the best celebrations, maybe the best celebration in the country, quite frankly.
I'm right there with you, and I think there are a lot of people here right now that would agree with you. It's the excitement is palpable, and I don't know, I've been here a number of years for the 4th of July celebrations, and this is one of the biggest turnouts I've ever seen. Going on all the side streets, it was hard to find parking. Driving was crazy, but that's a good problem to have because that means there are a lot of people here today.
We started doing these broadcasts with County 10, at least I did, in 2020, which was the pandemic year, which was kind of crazy when they had the pirate parade, but that's when we started. In 2021, it really revived, and the last few years, but coming over each of the last 4 years on July 3rd to set up for the event, I was trying to think. Yesterday, coming down Main Street around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I saw so many chairs and so many people lining up 16 hours ahead of the parade, getting their stuff ready to go. And honestly, I don't remember this many people out and about quite as early. So it is already packed here on Main Street. If you're coming into town now, give yourself an extra little bit. You're going to have to be patient because it is usually crazy, especially I know I make that drive the Hudson to Lander way, and it is usually backed up for a while. So I imagine some folks have KOVE on frustrated in traffic right now.
Well, we're just excited to be able to get the parade out to all of our listeners and our viewers on YouTube. That's just awesome that County 10 was able to do that this year. I know some people aren't able to make it, so we're glad that those who can't attend in person have somewhere they can still enjoy the parade. And like you said, Jared, a lot of people here right now trying to figure out their spots. A lot of people were claiming their spots last night. I always joke that July 3rd is the 4th of July's Eve. It's free lawn chair day. No, please don't. That's the coolest part about this whole thing, too, is that so many people set up the day before, and everyone just kind of honors it. That's how you know you live in a great town, that you can leave out all of your belongings on Main Street the night before, 24 hours in advance, and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I love how that speaks to Lander and the camaraderie and community spirit that this day brings. It is a lot of fun, and quite frankly, there's some chaos that goes along with today. There will be fireworks. Of course, Main Street has an open container permit. We encourage everybody to drink and be responsible today, but I got the Buffalo Barbecue happening at Lander City Park later today, the Pioneer Days Rodeo, which took place last night. It will be again tonight, and of course, fireworks all day long.
Yeah, people always comment about that. It's always fun to see the 4th of July in Lander through the lens of someone who hasn't experienced it before. And it's always amazing to see people's reactions to that first time of driving through the streets, especially when it starts to get kind of dark and you can really see that smoky haze rising above the entire town. All the fireworks are going off. You can hear people cheering just pretty much all day. And we're looking at a beautiful, beautiful day of weather for the 4th. Looking at the County 10 weather report earlier, we have pleasant temperatures all day, everybody. Pleasant temperatures all day. Nice breeze. Some days, some 4ths, it's pretty hot, but this year it's going to be great for everyone to not get too dehydrated or sunburned.
Yeah, it is almost perfect so far right now, knock on wood here, that the wind's not going to come up or anything, but last year I remember it was actually very chilly. There was rain right up until the parade, so Wyatt, who was producing for us last year, and I were looking at each other wondering if we were going to be able to get the electronics out, and finally at about 9:45 we did. Not the case this year. Everything is in good shape. And like you said, some years it feels like it's 120 degrees, and we're supposed to be mid-70s, upper 80s maybe this afternoon. It's just going to be a perfect weather 4th of July, it appears.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that last year was mega overcast, and it was kind of sprinkly there for a while. And that's one of the big parts of the parade is when we have the big waterworks, when the fire department lets off all the water. And people, they still enjoyed it last year, but it's kind of harder to enjoy it when it's overcast, 60 degrees, and kind of cold, and all you're thinking about is going home and getting a hoodie on.
Yeah, exactly right. Again, Jared Anderson, Vince Tropea here with you from KOVE, 1330 AM, 107.7 FM, and we are live. If you're watching or listening along, we are also live on County 10's YouTube channel. So you go to YouTube, you search for County 10, and you'll find us live there. Later this afternoon, Shireen Herrera and Scott Fuller are going to be live from the High Country in DuBois, where their parade has become quite a big deal. So you can watch along with that parade around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Looking forward to bringing you more of those festivities. But for my money, it is just not the official start of the 4th of July until we start seeing some the color guard and the horses and all of the festiveness here on Landers Main Street. Vince, you and I talk about this every year, it feels like, but there are some staples of the parade. Do you have a favorite thing or two that you look forward to in the parade?
It's kind of a newer one, but some of the gymnastic teams have the entire bed of their truck as a trampoline, and they're doing backflips and front flips and all these amazing things on a moving vehicle. And normally that would terrify me, but they're so good at what they do. They're executing all of those moves flawlessly, and it just kind of like stops everything so you can watch and see what's going on. But they've been one float that's really stepped it up each year.
Yeah, that's one that always stands out with me, too, just because I feel like I'm holding my breath when they go by, that nobody falls out of the trampoline or lands all their flips. But that has been a good one for sure. We are just about to 10 o'clock here on this Thursday, 4th of July, which means you'll hear the cannon start down by Lander Valley High School, and that's where the parade will start. It'll take a while to get to us here at the Lander Motel, which, by the way, I want to thank Fabian, Christy, and the Lander Motel folks for accommodating us this year. I got to tour the building, the new facilities, check out some of the new rooms yesterday. It's absolutely fantastic, and they reserved us a great spot here to be able to shoot the parade and accommodated us well. So you can go to thelandermotel.com to check out all of the new renovations here, very modern, top-notch rooms right in the middle of downtown Main Street. And if you're thinking about attending the parade next year, reserve that room a year in advance and just walk out of your door. You don't have to worry about parking. You don't have to worry about anything. If you're not from Lander and you want to get a room, go to thelandermotel.com and book that room. You can walk 3 steps out of your room and you're at the parade.
That's a good spot, and like you said, Jared, it's a beautiful new addition to Lander. I think they got the beautification award at the Lander Chamber Community Awards luncheon this past year, and you can really tell it adds a pop to this part of Main Street. Like you said, a great spot. If you're thinking in advance already, planning for next year, 2025, 4th of July, this is a good place to get a room, roll out of bed, go out onto Main Street, and set up your chair on the sidewalk.
If you're coming into town now, also worth noting for anybody who may be coming the way I came from Riverton through Hudson into Lander on 789 on the north end. If you haven't been to Lander the last few days, that construction project is complete. I've been wondering the last few weeks coming over, are they going to get it done before the parade? So if you're stuck in traffic now, at least a little bit of silver lining that project is complete, so you're not going to be slowed down that direction. But it is a busy, busy Main Street right now, and I still have time, of course, with the parade just about to start on the other end down by Lander Valley High School and Bailey Tire and Auto. So, all right, so we'll get you ready. We'll have some parade coverage coming up for you here in just a little bit. Do want to thank some of the sponsors that made our 2024 Lander Pioneer Days parade coverage possible, and we'll let you hear from those sponsors right now.
This 4th of July, let us celebrate the spirit of freedom, honor our history, and cherish the unity that binds us as a nation. First Interstate Bank is here to serve our community with pride, from personal banking to commercial services. Connect with us for trusted financial expertise. Happy 4th of July. Brought to you by the employees at First Interstate Bank in Riverton and Lander. Visit firstinterstatebank.com.
Y2 Consultants is an engineering, planning, survey, and natural resources firm with offices in Pinedale, Jackson, and Cheyenne. Our team represents over 35 years of expertise enhancing the natural and built environment and is currently working on the Squaw-Baldwin Creek Loop strategic plan for Fremont County. From engineering design to environmental planning and permitting, let Y2 Consultants help you define, design, and deliver your next project.
Sometimes you're anticipating it. Sometimes it's unexpected. Occasionally it's something small. But most of the time, it's a pretty big deal. It's your best day ever. And Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union is proud of the part we play in making each of them happen. Whether opening your first savings account or moving into your dream home, Meridian Trust is there for all your best days.
Lander is an incredible place. Folks living here are really connected to their town and to each other. When problems arise, they come together to find solutions. Sometimes they just need a little help to put those solutions into place. And that's where the Lore Foundation can help. We support projects that are led by locals and that help Lander at large, like providing funding for bike racks on buses, and for the fireworks to help this year's 4th of July show go on. Reach out to us with your idea at lorefoundation.org.
You can hear my voice if you're awake this morning and ready to run. All right. We'll get kicked off in about 5 minutes.
Everybody set? Warmed up?
Meet Lloyd Larson, your experienced candidate for House District 54. With 12 years in the Wyoming State Legislature, Lloyd has tirelessly served the community of Lander and Wyoming. As a trusted Republican representative, Lloyd has led major committees, always listening to his constituents. We cherish our life in the great state of Wyoming, and Lloyd is here to keep it thriving. Learn more at lloydlarson.com. Paid for by the candidate. Discover amazing deals and unbeatable service at Les Schwab Tire Center in Riverton. With over 545 locations nationwide, we provide top-notch tire, wheel, and accessory services. Trust our professionals for quality you can count on. Enjoy up to $200 instant savings when you buy 4 select tires and 4 select wheels. Visit leschwab.com to learn more and schedule your appointment. Join us and experience the Les Schwab difference today.
On this 4th of July, let us celebrate the spirit of freedom, honor our history, and cherish the unity that binds us as a nation. First Interstate Bank is here to serve our community with pride, from personal banking to commercial services. Connect with us for trusted financial expertise. Happy 4th of July. Brought to you by the employees at First Interstate Bank in Riverton and Lander. Visit firstinterstatebank.com.
Welcome to the Hampton Inn, where it's easy to see the difference, the service, and of course, the happiness. So come for the clean, spacious rooms, the staff that goes above and beyond for your happiness, the speedy business center, and stay for breakfast that's to die for. Leg day every day. The best local knowledge. And if we have this much fun, just imagine how much fun you'll have staying with us.
Welcome you back here to Lander, Wyoming Main Street as we celebrate the 4th of July. Jared Anderson, Vince Tropea from KOVE and from County 10. Getting ready for the day of festivities. Of course, this is just the first of 2 parades that will bring you coverage of. Shireen Herrera, Scott Fuller going to make their way up to DuBois and bring you that parade around 2 o'clock this afternoon. But first, really glad you've just decided to start your day with us. Always love to throw this out there. If you are watching along on the YouTube channel, drop us a comment. Throw it in the comment box there where you're watching from.
Yeah.
We had some really cool ones last year. We had folks in Idaho, Montana, Colorado, Texas. A lot of different states were represented. So even if you're watching Fremont County, even if you didn't want to make the drive over from Fort Washakie or wherever you are today, let us know. We'll shout you out here as the parade continues. And looking down the corner of Main Street and starting to see some festiveness coming our direction. So we're just a few moments away from being able to bring you the coverage here in front of the Lander Motel. There's always stuff to watch, though, and I don't know how much we're picking up on the screen there in front of you, but there's always unicycles and skateboards and bicycles all up and down Main Street after they close it off.
It really does come alive, and that's actually low-key one of my favorite parts of the parade is before it starts, when that excitement's building up and all of the kids are excited to have a closed-off Main Street. So like you just said, they could skateboard, they could scooter, they're rollerblading down. Yeah, there's shout-out to Todd Gallen, always coming out on his unicycle every year. Hopefully you'll get another photo of him. It's kind of a tradition getting a photo of Todd on his unicycle. But, yeah, the excitement is palpable right now.
Yeah, it is. You get some cute kids selling popsicles and different vendors up and down the streets right now on just a packed Main Street, Lander, Wyoming. I want to thank some of the folks who are making the broadcast possible this year. That includes Wyo Glass, wishing you and your family a safe and happy Independence Day. Wyo Glass, of course, has the newer building. It's been around a while on Main Street in Lander, but looking really good there. 307 Fireworks after the parade. If you're ready for some 4th of July fireworks fun, and I know a lot of people in the Lander community are going to be, so 307 Fireworks has you covered there. And we want to thank our friends in Sutherland's in Riverton making this broadcast possible. They wish you a day of joy and togetherness as we celebrate our nation's freedom. Sutherland's hopes everyone has a safe and happy Independence Day. We'll shout out some more of those sponsors as we continue with the broadcast. Also, one more thank you here while we've got a little bit of time before the parade, but Maggie Appleby, who once again coordinated a spot, was on the phone with me a couple weeks ago getting stuff ready to go, making sure we had it all coordinated, handed me the late list of parade substitutions and all of the updated information, and I know she joined you on KOVE for a coffee time appearance too, but Maggie does a great job organizing this every year.
She really does. It's always a pleasure to talk to her, and like I always say, she is the hardest working woman in Lander, Wyoming. You don't go to an event and not see her, I'll put it that way. And like you said, she's just kind of an institution when it comes to the parade and all of the hard work she puts in. It's a testament to everything that she does for our community for sure.
Yeah, it really is. Festivities continue all day long here. I want to shout out the Buffalo Barbecue again. Is that the Rotary Club that puts that on?
That is the Rotary, yeah. And they've got buffalo burgers, brats, and then normal hot dogs as well, I think, this year. Couple sides, $15 for a plate for adults, and something cheaper for kids. I'm not exactly sure. But, it goes from 11 until about they run out. I mean, it's usually around 2 o'clock, I think, was when they wrap up. But it's always a good burger.
Yeah, it really is, and a lot of fun there. Good festiveness in the park, and Lander Pioneer Days rodeo back in action. If you're a rodeo fan, want to go check that out tonight. And there are public fireworks tonight too, right? But not at the rodeo grounds?
Correct. That's at the Wyoming Life Resource Center is where that's going to be taking place. And, it's like the fireworks they're in the sky, so you can probably be pretty much anywhere and check them out. But there are places that you can pay for a spot, pay for parking, so you don't have to think about it. You can just go to those spots, park, have a good spot and watch it. But I did see some recommendations. Please not park on Chittum Road on the sides. There's going to be displayed parking areas where you can go pay for it, or just find a spot on your own, hoof it, walk over to the area. But don't make it any harder for the emergency crews, just in case they have to go somewhere and address a fire. That usually doesn't happen. That's another thing that amazes me, Jared, too, is each year how few incidents there usually are.
Yeah, I love that. I love that we get to celebrate and do the fireworks and have the crazy fun, but You also got to think about first responders and fire departments, firefighters who are not spending the holiday with their family necessarily and know that they're going to respond to a whole bunch of things. So if we can give them a break today, that would be fantastic. And a big shout out to the Lander Volunteer Fire Department and all the firefighters who may be tuned in watching around Fremont County and beyond right now. But it's got to be a rough day to be a first responder. So if you can give them a bit of a break and use some safety in your firework fun, that's always encouraged.
Give them a break, give them a shout out. If you see them on the side of the roads, maybe bring them a slushie or a Gatorade or something on this hot day. Like I said, it's not too bad out today temperature-wise, but when you're standing out on the concrete, on the pavement, at attention, like you said, 1 foot at the door. They may be enjoying some parts of the day, but EMS crews are ready to stop whatever they're doing today to go help those in need. So everyone be smart, be safe, and enjoy yourselves.
Starting to see the parade action coming up Main Street here. It's led by VFW Post 954 and the Auxiliary and Lander Honor Guard. They'll be with us in just a quick moment, and we will pause momentarily while the presentation of our nation's colors moves past your screen. They're coming up here in about 60 seconds or so. Gives us one more chance to thank a couple of the folks making this broadcast possible, like Spare Me Car Keys. If you need a car key or remote, over 1,000 keys in stock at Spare Me Car Keys. You can call them 307-206-4228. And want to thank Flying Phoenix Fireworks. They're at 1540 Main Street in Lander, right next to the radio station. Open 11 to 7 today for all your fireworks needs. And actually, I take that back. They're open 11 to 9 tonight, open until 9 p.m. at Flying Phoenix Fireworks. Lots of new products, and they are locally owned. Lander Police Department, per usual, out in front of the parade, leading the charge. Hoping our video connection is staying as strong as possible as we rely on some outdoor internet. Lander Police Department rolling past your screen right now, and here comes the VFW Post 945 and Auxiliary Lander Honor Guard. Crowd rises, removes caps. And coming up here next, American Legion Don Stowe, Post 33, and the Sons of the American Legion, a veteran organization committed to community helpfulness. Several community members and veterans on the back of the float. Of course, lots of flags, folks standing, removing cover, honoring America to begin the parade. Jared Anderson, Vince Tropea with you, the 130th Lander Pioneer Days Parade. And already a break in action after the first couple of floats roll on past. Again, now, wherever you may be tuned in from, give us a shout out on our YouTube channel. Want to say hello to Jenny, who's watching in Missouri. Got a couple of sheriff's office and Lander Police Department dispatchers watching along. Hey, thank you for your service. Thanks for all you do. Really appreciate our local law enforcement and first responders, especially 365 days a year, really, but especially on a day like today. Vince and I just talking about the craziness that can be the 4th of July and all the emergency calls, and I can't necessarily be easy being apart from your family and the things you want to do on a holiday. So shout out to the Fremont County Sheriff's Office and Lander Police Department watching along on the broadcast. And I know LPD officers all up and down Main Street here patrolling and doing a fantastic job. Say hello to Richard watching in Virginia. Richard was born and raised in Lander, he said, tuned in Virginia right now. Also, feel free to drop it in that comment section if you are experiencing any kind of lagging problems on our YouTube channel. Hopefully we're hanging in there all right, and if we are, we'll have our tech team get right on that. So saw the VFW and Lander Police Department roll on by. Short break in the action, and now we're anticipating seeing the Marine Corps. This is League Friday, Tehran Detachment 683. And this is a staple in the Lander Pioneer Days Parade, too, with the float depicting the flag raising on Iwo Jima. Always a special one for our local veterans, and a youth favorite, too, is candy being distributed right and left. One of my favorite parts, especially as a dad now, is watching the free-for-all of candy-grabbing efforts. It's hard to imagine this is the 130th year consecutively that the parade has been happening, and obviously it officially took a pause in 2020, but some Lander residents didn't let it stop them and did the Pirate Parade 4 years ago. So the streak continues, and there is no shortage of folks here to welcome all the fun and start their day with a parade. Here's Monty Richardson, the mayor of Lander. Monty, always very kind with his time on KOVE's Today in the 10 show, regular guest once a month with Vince Tropea. Vince, my co-host, out snapping a few photos right now. If you're wondering where that voice disappeared to, we'll have a photo gallery up for you at county10.com. First parade marshal makes his way past now. That's John Wada. John, driven by Bill Elder. And Parade Marshal Jim Stewart coming past now. Jim giving some waves in the back of a convertible driven by Mike Stewart. Honorary Parade Marshal Dick Parker being recognized now with some of his family members. Unfortunately, Mr. Parker passed away in March of this year. Staple in the Lander community, and family members are riding in Dick's honor with his leading horse and his pack horse. Past your screen right now. I want to say hello to John watching along in Denver. Say hello to Richard, born and raised in Lander, but now living in Arizona, watching along too. It's so cool to hear how many places, how many states are checking in, and just how much Lander and central Wyoming means to people. Some Lander Pioneer Day parade royalty coming through on horseback right now, and the Lander Cattlewomen royalty are following them. Coming very shortly is the 33rd governor of the great state of Wyoming, Mr. Mark Gordon. There's Governor Gordon there on your screen right now, giving a wave with some of his family members in the back. Governor Gordon will be followed by the Wyoming Life Resource Center. Their float includes the Wyoming State Seal, representing the 44th state in the Union. And the first of a whole bunch of Lander Volunteer Fire Department floats will follow that up with the Old Red and Rescue #1. I believe that's the new wagon that there's a feature on at county10.com. I want to say hello and thanks for watching to Francine. Francine is watching along in Colorado, also a Lander native with us. Had a lot of great memories in Lander. Appreciate you being here, Francine. Some members of the Wyoming Special Olympics coming past now. As this is parade tradition, so I expected it, but we're out of order already. There's the Wyoming Life Resource Center that I think I mentioned not long ago, coming past right now in their miniature train. And you'll hear the sirens for the Lander Volunteer firefighters. That won't be it for the firefighters. They will come past this parade a couple of more times, including, of course, closing it out. And then we're not far from the waterworks right afterward down on 4th Street, where they block off the street, keep it closed, and fire up the water cannons and soak everybody who wants to participate in that. Give a couple more thank yous to some folks who made our parade coverage possible this year. First Interstate Bank reminds you on this 4th of July, let's celebrate the spirit of freedom and honor our history. Happy 4th of July from everyone at First Interstate Banks of Riverton and Lander. Big thank you to our good friends at Hampton Inn and Suites, where the unexpected becomes expected, and you're always 100% happy at Hampton Inn and Suites. And the Wyoming Department of Transportation, happy 4th of July from WYDOT passengers and drivers, reminded to wear their seatbelts. Every trip, every time, it's an easy message. Seatbelts save lives. And a good reminder on a day like today that designated drivers encouraged. If you're going to participate in alcohol, have a blast. Just be responsible, especially when it comes to getting behind the wheel. Lander Volunteer firefighters on your screen now. Give us a chance to get you a little pan for a different angle on your screen here while we can. Vince and I mentioned pre-parade coverage, but yesterday the streets just lined with people and even busier than usual. Normally there's chairs and everything set out, but I think this is about as busy as I've seen Lander's Main Street in maybe the last at least 4 or 5 years. So it's great to see everybody out this year. Lander's Rotary Club, the Buffalo Barbecue, coming up after the parade. That starts at 11 o'clock at the Lander City Park, and some Rotary Club members are coming past right now. Some Dr. Seuss regalia via unicycle also coming past your screen right now. We'll see if we can get a shot of the Cat in the Hat sporting a unicycle. 130th Lander Pioneer Days Parade. Jared Anderson, Vince Tropea with you. Live video is available on County 10's YouTube channel if you want to check it out there. Radio coverage also on KOVE. Say hello to some Lander Youth Baseball All-Stars coming past right now. The American Legion baseball team, Lander Legends, coming past. We've got some great highlight videos of the Lander Legends up for you on County 10's YouTube channel as well. And here comes Boy Scout Troop 52, sponsored by the American Legion. Scouts is awesome, the sign reads, following the Lander Boy Scouts. Here comes some more of those Lander Legends. I think some of them just kind of broke ahead of the pack up early, and the rest of the Legends baseball team walking into the shot right now. Legends qualified for state this year, wrapped up with 4 consecutive wins, and will be off to Lovell in mid-July. And welcome Vince Tropea back on the mic. One of your favorites here, Vince, I know, is the Lander Pipe Band.
Always a pleasure to interview them, and they're fundraising currently right now for their youth program, and to send some their whole crew, I think, to the World Pipe Competition in Scotland.
That's awesome. Great interview you had with them. You can find more on County 10's podcast, where you can find that archive. See if we can listen in here to a moment for the pipe band. 130th Lander Pioneer Days parade coverage continues. County 10's YouTube channel. Want to thank everybody watching along via YouTube. As the pipe band continues to march away, Boyd and Lizzie Mace supposed to be coming by in a Model A. I don't see that yet, but there is a Chevy Chevelle, a 1971 Chevelle, a 1971 Nova. My notes here say, in a loving memory of Wally Hammock. So apparently Wally Hammock's vehicles. We get a very impressive burnout in front of us. And the burnout will be followed by the Lander Masters Special Olympics. Athletes from all across Fremont County on the back of this float. Good luck to all of our Special Olympians competing again at the Wyoming State Games and all kinds of competitions around the region. Special Olympians wave into the crowd. Also more candy being distributed as I'm keeping an eye on my 7-year-old and my 4-year-olds who already have a bag full of candy and we're only a quarter of the way through the parade. Northern Arapaho powwow royalty coming through now. We'll listen into this here for a moment. Powwow royalty coming past now, and they'll be followed by our good friend Allison Sage with Northern Arapaho horse culture healing rides. County 10 was fortunate to have Allison in our building for a while and told us a lot about these cultural horse healing rides. Does amazing work with all different kinds of people via equine therapy. So shout out to Allison Sage, who should be coming through here momentarily. Some more Lander legends, all-stars walking past right now. And again, we'll have some more baseball coverage for you on county10.com. We've got the Babe Ruth Pacific Northwest Regional Tournament coming up in just a few weeks. Very cool. Lander gets to host that event with some state champions from 10 different states and Canadian provinces all coming here to Lander. Lander Old Timers Rodeo Association, the first to officially break out the waterworks. There's some squirt guns, a lot of candy, and a lot of fun happening on the Lander Old Timers Rodeo Association float. You want to give it a few moments so you get settled in, then you get warm enough, and finally a little squirt gun action feels good for at least the youngsters at this point. Fan favorite there, and they're putting on the rodeo, of course, at the Old Timer Rodeo grounds tonight. Dan Hahn making his way past, running for Ward 1, Lander City Council. And here comes Miss Wheelchair Wyoming. That is Harley Spire, Fremont County's Harley Spire, Miss Wheelchair Wyoming. Stephen Laurie Jacobs sporting a Model T coming onto your screen now. It's always impressive when you see these Model Ts and the Model A earlier, that a car from 1924, this Model T, can be in such good shape. That again, Stephen Laurie Jacobs. And making their way onto your screen now, also with some water fun, is the Grand Valley Nursing Facility. New private full-time in-home nursing agency. That's Grand Valley Nursing. 130th Lander Pioneer Days Parade. Jared Anderson, Vince Tropea, along with you here on KOVE and County 10's YouTube channel. Want to thank Meridian Trust for all your banking needs. Choose Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union in Lander. Convenient, local, and trusted. Ask Meridian Trust how to join today. And thanks to Aspen Mountain Medical. Happy 4th of July from Aspen Mountain Medical in Lander. Your number one choice for patient-centered orthopedic services, Aspen Mountain Medical. Vince, you're getting a workout. You're doing a lot of photos up and down the parade and then hopping back on here. So
yeah, I'm making sure to keep the mic away so I'm not breathing heavily into all of our listeners' ears right now. But no, I'm running around taking some photos. And there are some amazing floats this year. Seeing them up close in person. A lot of dedication, a lot of time and commitment going into these things that everyone gets to enjoy here today.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but you often don't realize how much work it is to put these parades together and all the decorations that go along with them here. So shout out to everybody who's been working for weeks and weeks.
And looking at all of the candy hauls, the kids are doing pretty well this year. Your kiddos were just showing me what they've got, and they're bordering on a Halloween trick-or-treat night right now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was saying we're a quarter of the way through the parade, and they've already got a full bag of candy. So
have fun with that on the drive home.
That's not going to be great for the rest of the day, but it is the 4th of July, so some exceptions in there. While we have a brief pause in the action, we're going to let you see and hear from a few of the sponsors that make this year's Lander 4th of July parade possible.
This 4th of July, let us celebrate the spirit of freedom, honor our history, and cherish the unity that binds us as a nation. First Interstate Bank is here to serve our community with pride, from personal banking to commercial services. Connect with us for trusted financial expertise. Happy 4th of July. Brought to you by the employees at First Interstate Bank in Riverton and Lander. Visit firstinterstatebank.com.
Y2 Consultants is an engineering, planning, survey, and natural resources firm with offices in Pinedale, Jackson, and Cheyenne. Our team represents over 35 years of expertise enhancing the natural and built environment and is currently working on the Squaw-Baldwin Creek Loop strategic plan for Fremont County. From engineering design to environmental planning and permitting, let Y2 Consultants help you define, design, and deliver your next project.
Welcome to the Hampton Inn, where it's easy to see the difference, the service, and of course, the happiness. So come for the clean, spacious rooms, the staff that goes above and beyond for your happiness, the speedy business center, and stay for breakfast that's to die for. Leg day every day. The best local knowledge. And if we have this much fun, just imagine how much fun you'll have staying with us.
Lander Pioneer Days parade coverage continues on county10.com and KOVE 1330 AM 107.7 FM. Jared Anderson and Vince Tropea along with you. It's Elizabeth Phillip running for Senate just past us, along with Leslie Jacobs, and her Morgan Mare, Haley, and Colt. We've got another brief pause here, but it's great because just out of your screen we can hear the sounds of Jack Malmberg, who was driving his 8-horse hitch, bringing the Scout River Native Drum Group from the Wind River Indian Reservation coming through, and hopefully we get treated to a little more music from the Scout River Native Drum Group and can let you listen in here for a moment. Wyoming Game and Fish Department coming along with a couple of adorable dogs. I think they're official parade entries. A lot of dogs up and down the street in this parade that aren't official parade entries. Game and Fish pulling a flatbed trailer with taxidermy wildlife on the back of that. I want to say thank you to Y2 Consultants and Engineering, Planning, Surveying, and Natural Resources offices in Pinedale, Jackson, and Cheyenne. Their team represents over 35 years of expertise in enhancing the natural and built environment, and they're currently working on the Squaw Baldwin Creek Loop Strategic Plan. They're asking that you let them help define, design, and deliver your next project. That is Y2 Consultants. And thanks to the Lander Community Foundation. You saw their great ad a while ago. We'll play that one more time here for you during the parade. But Lander Community Foundation, local philanthropic foundation whose mission is to create a stronger community by promoting and encouraging giving, facilitating volunteerism, while providing leadership on nonprofit issues that are important to the community. That is the Lander Community Foundation. And a pause in the parade as we look at the game and fish floats. We'll remind you, fireworks legal in Lander city limits until midnight tonight. They kindly ask that you wrap it up by midnight. I know years past there's been some complaints of 1 or 2 a.m. fireworks. That's July 5th, so you can't do that anymore, and your neighbors are sleeping, so try to have that all wrapped up by 12 a.m. Lander Pioneer Museum coming by next. Such a great resource right here in Fremont County. If it's been a while since you've been into the Pioneer Museum, I highly recommend it. Randy Wise, the curator, is driving the Dodge truck with the sheep wagon on the back. Randy's a regular on KOVE's Today in the 10 show, and I learn something super interesting every single time he's on. He is a wealth of local history. Ian and Cole Craft, husband and wife, riding that beautiful painted horse, and Wild Mustangs coming through next. They'll be followed by the Civil Air Patrol Color Guard Cadets and the Civil Air Patrol van following the presentation of the colors. 4th of July, always a great opportunity as well to thank our men and women in uniform, past and present. We had some veterans checking in on the parade last year. That was fun to chat with them about as we go back to the County 10 YouTube comments and say hello to Richard again watching in Arizona, Francine in Colorado. Also say hello to Gerald. Jerry Sr. and Jr. watching for the first time from Riverton. They just moved to Riverton from Idaho, so we welcome you. Glad to have you in Fremont County. Thanks for watching along with us, and hope you have a great time here in Fremont County. And want to say hello to Andrew watching along with us in Montana. Andrew says a lot of great memories in Lander on the 4th of July, so thank you for being here, Andrew. Appreciate you. Fire and Ice trailer coming by right now with some patriotic banners and an Old West theme. They're followed by the Lander Lions Club. I did not see number 41 in my guide. Hopefully they're coming down the road here, because that float is called T-Rex Loves Lander. And I haven't seen any dinosaurs yet.
Yeah, so neither have I. Wondering what that one is.
I'm hoping they've just scurried off and are doing some dinosaur-related stuff somewhere else, and they'll pop back into the parade here shortly. But
yeah, Friends of the South Pass City going by right now. They've got a full working mill right now. This is amazing. A water mill.
Yeah, a lot of attention to detail to that float, and they remind you that Gold Rush Day is coming up July 6th and 7th. That's always a great time at South Pass.
This weekend, I'm already looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to be there and check out the old-timey baseball tournaments they've got going on.
One of these years you got to play in one of those. Develop a character.
Stubbs Magoo, and that's Stubbs Magoo Tropea. I've got 2 last names, and I'm a killer at a stickball game. So, no, I've always, that's kind of a low-key dream of mine. I want to play in one of those games one of these years.
I'll have to sign you up for that and then mic you up to get some video highlights of the shenanigans you find yourself in.
Of me losing the entire game for my team. Yeah, that's exactly what would happen.
Stubbs Magoo strikes out again.
Yep.
Got Sam Rogers pulling an aircraft by a tug here, an airplane tug and an airplane coming down Main Street, Lander, Wyoming. It's always cool to see the variety of vehicles that are here. We mentioned how great the horses are, but there are an enormous amount of tractors and antique vehicles. We saw the Model T from 1924 a little bit ago, and next up we have an airplane.
Now we have a plane. That one's got some clearance on it, too. If you're not paying close enough attention, those wings might get you. So for any of the folks down from 5th Street to 1st Street, make sure that you give the airplane a little bit of extra room there.
Vince has been out shooting the parade on and off microphone, but we've got a great crowd watching along, Vince, on our YouTube channel. Folks from Missouri, some folks from the Sheriff's Department and Lander Police Dispatch Center watching in right now. Virginia is represented, Colorado, Arizona. Say hello to some folks in Idaho and Montana as well.
Word's getting out. People want to watch what Reader's Digest just said was one of the best fireworks displays and best 4th of July celebrations in the country. They named it for Best in Wyoming, which I thought was pretty amazing. I don't know about you, but Reader's Digest was such a huge part of my youth growing up with my parents reading those magazines whenever I could. Who do we got coming up next, Jared?
This is the Lander Elks Lodge. They've got antique farm equipment, patriotic colors, and elk banners. And guess by those elk antlers that this is probably the Elks Club, is another kid favorite, throwing lots of candy out, well decorated.
And just big shout out to the Elks. They do so much. I mean, they're kind of on their float right now. They're listing some of the things that they do each and every year. So that's another great cause to donate to if you get the chance.
There's so many great folks. We talk about this all the time, but Lander and Fremont County just have so many people who volunteer and do things to give back to their communities. And it's an extraordinary place to live and to hear about everybody who's given things back to the greater good. Carl Stahl coming by with a custom Hot Wheel riding mower and John Deere tractor. So we talked about the vehicles. That's about as unique as it gets there.
Yeah, I want that.
Sorry, Vince, you got interrupted.
That's the best way to get interrupted. That was they're making an entrance right now. That is the Lander Lobos.
Lander Lobo baseball team on a flatbed trailer. Hopefully we're with you on the audio side of things. I think we've got any problem we may have just had resolved there. Vince mentioned that the Lobo baseball team, good at throwing candy. They've got their arms all warmed up. They've been practicing all year. Accurate and throwing 80-mile-an-hour fastballs in there with the Smarties.
They were getting them good. I saw a couple of the kids going, you know what? I don't need candy from this float. Like I said, Sarah Penn going by right now. She's got her whole family on horseback. It's cool to see.
And this is the 130th Lander Pioneer Days Parade. It's crazy to think of anything, really, that's gone on for 130 years, but this parade has been happening consistently and is the way so many folks in Fremont County and visitors kick off their 4th of July festivities. Fun all day long here in the place that Reader's Digest just said is the best spot in Wyoming to celebrate the 4th, Lander, Wyoming. I do give a shout out every year to Cody because Cody, I'm told, has a great parade and a lot of fun, but with all due respect to the fine community of Cody, this is as good as it gets in Wyoming and maybe the country.
I'm right there with you, and not too far behind both of those two. Du Bois Parade going to be going on today at 2 o'clock. We'll be covering that as well. Shout out to Amanda Faring. She'll be over there taking some photos of the Du Bois Parade. That one has a lot more tanks than any parade, 4th of July parade I've ever been involved in. The National Museum of Military Vehicles over there, that's the big reason why. But be sure to check out the County 10 YouTube page for that broadcast later as well.
4th of July is always a great day, Vince, like we've mentioned, to thank veterans past and present. And if you have not been to the National Museum of Military Vehicles in Du Bois, make that high on your priority list. It is a great spot to go. I want to thank the Lore Foundation making the parade coverage possible. Thrilled to celebrate and support the parade this year. The people and projects around Lander make this town special every day of the year. You can learn more about the Lore Foundation at lorefoundation.org. I think this is our first boat of the day with some Star Wars themed action from the boat, and this is, I'm going to say Shane Dubois. Could be Du Bois because that's how we say it around here, but I'm hoping this is Shane Dubois' boat, titled Char Wars, a boat for recon angling. Darth Vader hands out candy. That's a great costume, but it's got to be hot on a day like today to be in all black with a mask on. Eastern Shoshone Tribal Health in Fort Washakie coming into your frame now. Also a well-decorated float with some wacky inflatable tube men and a lot of balloons on the back there for the Eastern Shoshone Tribal Health folks. Want to thank Boyle Electric. If you're searching for the right electrical contractor for your home or remodeling project, look no further than Boyle Electric. Quality service at your doorstep. Give Boyle Electric a call. They wish you a safe and happy 4th of July. Again, we're set up here at the Lander Motel, newly renovated Lander Motel. Want to thank the Lobera family for allowing us to broadcast in front of this great new business. You can go to thelandermotel.com to find out all the details. If you haven't seen these rooms, they are renovated. They are really, really kind of retro inspired, but also top of the line in convenience, and it's a very new design. There's not a lot of hotels in the country that look like this. It's keyless check-in. You don't even have to go to the lobby. You just get a keypad on your door to enter, and they're doing some top-of-the-line innovative things at the Lander Motel. Don't have to wait for the next 4th of July to book your stay, but if you do want to book a room right smack dab in the middle of Main Street where the parade is right out your door, this could be your view next year, and your room could be right around the corner if you book that stay at thelandermotel.com. Lander Shrine Club with their locomotive coming through. Going to hear the horn onto the locomotive here, I think. Maybe not. He was reaching for it and then he didn't get it. Train rolling past now. And the Shoshone Rose Hotel and Casino coming up here in just a moment. Beautiful day for a parade. It always is on the 4th of July, but literally, I can't think of more perfect weather than this. We're upper 60s right now, sunshine, not a cloud in the sky, and you hesitate saying things like this in Wyoming, but there's almost no breeze. It's just perfect. It was chilly and rainy last year. We've had some very cold 4th of Julys, had some 4th of Julys that have been in the triple digits. This one right in the middle there, happy medium. Lander Police side by side coming through. And we'll hear some more music Trying to figure out who's next here. The Cross T Ranch is next on my list. This is Allison Sage. We mentioned Allison a little bit ago. See Allison on the drum. And some other folks with Mr. Sage, who again is with the Northern Arapaho Horse Culture Healing Rides. Great service. If you know anybody interested in equine therapy or that would benefit from it, can't recommend that enough. We got to learn a little bit more about it with Allison working in the same building as County 10 for a while, and they do great things. Central Wyoming College coming into frame now. Some different educators, professors, and CWC staff, as well as a few students I recognize, passing out some orange and black gear right in the middle of summer, but we'll be thinking about school time not too far off, and CWC always has a lot of great things going on.
Did you just say the S word on the 4th of July, Jay? We're not talking about school right now.
That's true. That's true. We should not mention that, but it is fun when it's back to school time, and they have a lot of fun festiveness, including their theater department, Joey West, and the CWC Summer Theater Department, which right now they're working on Technicolor Dreamcoat summer presentation, as you see that flyer onto your screen right now. Again, if you're listening on KOVE, wishing you were watching the parade, head over to County 10's YouTube channel. You can find us there. And if you are along on the YouTube channel, drop us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to shout you out, even if you're watching in Fremont County and just couldn't make it to the parade this morning. Let us know. A lot of different states represented, some Lander folks that have moved away but are getting a little nostalgia and some 4th of July festiveness this morning. Guardian Flight is represented here with some Model A's. We've got a 1931 sedan Ford Model A, a 1930 Ford pickup Model A, and shortly you will see a 1929 Ford Coupe Model A. These are all Donald Sells, fantastically renovated vehicles, so well done to Donald and folks getting more opportunities to look at vehicles built in the 1920s. We'll have a photo gallery and some more 4th of July recaps up for you at county10.com a little later on today. Vince Tropea is working overtime. I sound like Bachman Turner Overdrive here. Up and down Main Street shooting all the photos and then hopping in and out of the broadcast. So photo gallery coming soon.
Pull a little double duty, but it's getting some up close and personal interactions with some of these float goers this year. It's pretty awesome to see all of these old-timey cars. This is also one of my favorite parts of the year, too.
Wyoming.com folks are coming next, along with that Wi-Fi trailer, which is a pretty cool little invention for different events you may have. Wyoming.com just had us out celebrating 30 years in business serving Fremont County and the state of Wyoming, and it's hard to think about an internet company being around for 30 years. I think that was the dawn of it just about, but shout out to Wyoming.com.
And like I said, the Wi-Fi mobile, they've got, I've seen it at Lander Brewfest, a couple other events providing Wi-Fi for folks at these huge community events where there's tons of people out here. There's not a whole lot of connectivity, so it's definitely helpful.
Frisbees being tossed into the crowd with a couple of impressive horses, and this is also Wyoming.com. Horse-drawn carriage here coming through. Reminding everyone to celebrate the Old West and happy 4th of July from Wyoming.com with a couple of floats in this year's parade.
And they're one of the ones with popsicles right now, too. That's proving mega popular with not just the kids, but some of the adults this year as well.
That is how you win people over. I want to thank our friends at Hudson's Funeral Home and On-Site Crematory in Lander, wishing you a safe and happy 4th of July. Celebrate freedom and family this Independence Day from Hudson's Funeral Home, and thanks to Les Schwab. Celebrate freedom with peace of mind on the road. Visit Les Schwab on North Federal in Riverton and let them keep your summer rolling.
Now we've got a random dog that's going on the parade right now, too. We don't know if that's a part of one of the other floats, but if you're missing a dog, looks like they were just in the river. They're kind of wet right now, but that's going to be the star of the parade, I think, right there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of cute dogs usually at this parade. Is not so cute. There's a guy dressed as Sasquatch across the way. Also very, very hot 4th of July costume.
Yeah. I wonder how he's doing that right now.
The Wind River Hotel and Casino coming up next. Also tossing out a whole lot of stuff. Got some koozies and popsicles. Squirting the crowd with water, too.
I'm glad a lot more people are bringing back the water guns from the floats this year. Water balloons aren't as welcome. That used to be a big thing, but because of safety concerns, they got rid of it. But that doesn't mean there was nothing in the rules about squirt guns, gosh darn it.
Yes, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. We don't want to get anybody injured, but it's fun to get everybody, especially the kiddos, a little bit damp here. And speaking of that, we'll conclude the parade with the Lander Fire Department coming up here in a little bit. Still lots of parade to go with the Lander Valley High School class of 1994. It says here in the program, I don't know if anyone can confirm this is true or not, but it says they're the best class in Lander Valley High School history.
I know some other floats that might be in contention of that, but they're proving pretty strong right now. They've got a lot of energy. They've got some good prizes and treats to be thrown out to everybody. Some good music playing. I don't know. They're looking like the top one right now.
They really are. I like the class reunion floats because everybody's always having a good time at those class reunions. And it's fun that this parade and this holiday brings so many people back together to the community of Lander. Western States Propane is coming up next with a full tank of propane behind this truck and more goodies to the kids.
They're another one of the ones that's kind of got a double float scenario. They've got their truck that they're giving out all of the treats from, and then, like you said, they've got the giant propane tank right behind it as well. Everything looking bright and shiny.
Give you a Def Leppard dance break here for just a second as the class of 94 just off of your screen continues to party right in front of us.
And right on time, Todd Gowan going by with the unicycle. That's who I was shouting out earlier at the beginning of the broadcast. Big shout out to Todd.
Got a Cat in the Hat unicycler only at the Lander Pioneer Days parade. Just over halfway through this year's parade, maybe a little past the halfway points. Maggie Appleby, one of the event organizers, kind enough to bring us updated lists here, and I know they had quite the turnout, especially early numbers this year for the parade compared to the last few years, which is really cool.
Yeah, it was at 90. It was around 90 at the same time that it was at 60 last year for parade float entries that got in by the time to be featured in the pamphlet that we have for today. But there's potentially dozens after that we don't know about that were the late signups who aren't in the pamphlet, but we might still be seeing them go by.
Got the Black Poppies Band, I believe, on the way next. That's Scott and Karsten Worth, along with Brett Foss.
This is a young band.
Lander's got so many great musicians, and you love to see the youth keeping it alive here, as we'll let you listen in to a Nirvana track for a moment. Again, the Black Poppies Band right there, and on a personal level, one of my favorite Nirvana songs of all time. Got a Tesla Cybertruck making its way through right now. The Cybertruck, I believe, driven by Patrick Lawson, has been spotted around Fremont County, and it stands out where they don't see a lot of Cybertrucks. Fremont County Democrats with them. And a bubble machine in the back of that Cybertruck, too. And next up is Ivan Posey. Ivan is a candidate for House District 33. Ivan in the back of this truck with a whole lot of friends and family and supporters. As Mr. Posey rolls past, Ivan, one of our good friends along the 10Cast network, several years ago hosted a show with us. #130th Lander Pioneer Days Parade. Jared Anderson, Vince Tropea bringing you the coverage.
Just still remarkable, Jared, thinking about how beautiful this whole entire day is. And right now we've got the P flag of Lander supporting a caring, just, affirming will for LGBTQ plus people and their families. They're going by right now as well. Good to see the representation here at the parade. We've got the Lander Schools for the Future float right behind them, Jared.
Yeah, they support responsible and reasonable school district leadership who represent all students. We mentioned the S word, as Vince said, with school earlier when Central Wyoming College went by, but shout out to all of our Fremont County area educators. Hopefully enjoying their summer break while they can here on this 4th of July. We're at the Lander Motel, the newly renovated Lander Motel. Where are we? Between 5th and 6th?
Correct.
Lander, right? Correct. Smack dab in the middle. If you are coming to the parade or listening maybe and want to stop by, County 10's got a booth here giving away some Frisbees and some different swag items.
You're going to need koozies on a hot day like today. I see a lot of koozie-less drinks being held out there on the parade right now, so stop by and grab one from us for KDLY, the brand.
We've had this conversation a different time, but Vince, a big koozie guy. Myself, not as much, but yeah, if it's your thing, come grab a 97.5 The Brand koozie.
I don't know how that ended up being from Southern Ohio, I guess. We just, it's a big koozie state. Very humid, I guess, is the deal. So
sure, I get it on a day like today. You do not want your drink at room temperature on a hot summer day.
We've got some koozies right now, definitely on the class of 2004 reunion float right now. They're a little more tame than 1994, I think. I think they might have partied a little too hard last night or before it started, but yeah, I'm still going with 1994 as the winners right now.
Yeah, 94 may be solidifying themselves as the best class in LVHS history, like the program says. But class of 2004, like Vince mentioned, a little more tranquil on the parade this morning. Got some tractors coming by. This is Luke Fiddler and family who are supporting some antique tractors, and you're going to see a few of these coming down Main Street here very soon.
Oh man, they're pulling. Yeah, they're doing donuts right now. This is awesome.
Nothing says the 4th of July like a tractor.
A John Deere
cookie,
tractor doing a cookie in the middle of Main Street on the 4th of July. If that doesn't make you feel patriotic, I don't know what does. I did just see a quite beautiful John Daly shirt. The golfer, he had a glorious mullet. It's probably my favorite shirt. A lot of great outfits. We need to talk about that today, too.
Sure.
There have been a lot of onesie rompers. I've seen matching couples wearing tons of American flag gear. It's just funny and great to see.
Yeah, it is. Love how everybody gets decked up, especially the kids. The adults are funny too, but everybody sporting their best 4th of July outfits. We need to almost do like a red carpet, who are you wearing kind of thing on the 4th of July.
I think that's a great idea for next year. We should, in front of the County 10 booth, set up the orange carpet with red, white, and blue as well. Let people know. We'll pick the best one, maybe throw them a prize or something. I think that could be fun.
A couple more folks to thank here as you see some antique tractors rolling by, including High Plains Power, making this broadcast possible. They ask you to reflect on the blessings of liberty this 4th of July. May we continue to cherish our freedom and build a brighter future for all. Happy Independence Day from High Plains Power, a Touchstone Energy cooperation. And thanks to Lloyd Larson, this 4th of July, make memories that last a lifetime. Celebrate freedom and family, and remember how fortunate we are to live in the great state of Wyoming. That's paid for by the campaign to re-elect Lloyd Larson for House District 54. Happy 4th of July.
Now we've got High Mountain Fitness. It's a float complete with trainers and gym equipment. They're even putting in the reps on the 4th.
Nothing says dedication like lifting some iron during the parade. A couple of youngsters on rollerblades here next, tossing out candy too. And more adorable dogs up and down the parade route. I don't think part of the official parade, but you see a lot of canine friends.
Yeah, we got Fremont County Roller Derby going through right now, and I think we're seeing. Oh, wow, they're actually going for it right now. They're bumping into each other.
Roller derby is a tough sport. I would imagine on pavement here, as we see a couple of them take a spill. They get up just fine, though, because they're much tougher than I am. I'd imagine that's going to leave a mark, though. That's the Red Canyon Rattle Skaters. There's an adult team and a junior team. They travel all over the state to compete. Shoshone National Forest coming up next here. Speaking of warm outfits, all decked out in their firefighter gear. This is a Type 6 fire engine coming down the line with a capacity of 300 gallons of water. With days at a time on fire assignments, these fire crews can use the fire engine as a resource for equipment and living quarters. The one and only Smokey Bear coming up here in just a moment as well. We do owe you one more break to squeeze in. Thanks some of the sponsors that make this year's parade coverage possible. We'll let you hear from just a few of them and pick up parade coverage in a moment from Lander, Wyoming.
You can hear my voice if you're awake this morning and ready to run. All right. We'll get kicked off in about 5 minutes.
Everybody set? Warmed up?
Discover amazing deals and unbeatable service at Les Schwab Tire Center in Riverton. With over 545 locations nationwide, we provide top-notch tire, wheel, and accessory services. Trust our professionals for quality you can count on. Enjoy up to $200 instant savings when you buy 4 select tires and 4 select wheels. Visit leschwab.com to learn more and schedule your appointment. Join us and experience the Les Schwab difference today.
Sometimes you're anticipating it. Sometimes it's unexpected. Occasionally it's something small. But most of the time, it's a pretty big deal. It's your best day ever. And Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union is proud of the part we play in making each of them happen. Whether opening your first savings account or moving into your dream home, Meridian Trust is there for all your best days.
Meet Lloyd Larson, your experienced candidate for House District 54. With 12 years in the Wyoming State Legislature, Lloyd has tirelessly served the community of Lander and Wyoming. As a trusted Republican representative, Lloyd has led major committees, always listening to his constituents. We cherish our life in the great state of Wyoming, and Lloyd is here to keep it thriving. Learn more at lloydlarson.com. Paid for by the candidate.
Happy 4th of July. Welcome back here to the Lander Pioneer Days Parade, the 130th version of the parade. You're looking at the class of 2014 from Lander Valley High School, making its way past us right now on a picture-perfect day. Jared Anderson, Vince Tropea, along with you from KOVE Radio and County10.com.
Shout out to the class of 2014. You can tell they put a lot of effort into their flow. They've got some kiddos there too. We're kind of going over the braggadocio of the class of 1994, but once again, they are still kind of running the best class of Landers history.
Boniface Ridgely running for Northern Arapahoe Business Council, coming past right now. Hopefully I did okay on the name pronunciation there. And Wind River Realty. They've had some cool floats the last few years, and they've got an Old West saloon hall on the back of their flatbed trailer this year with a bunch of cute kiddos throwing out all kinds of 4th of July stuff and more popsicles, which is always a favorite.
Yeah, that saloon setup's awesome. Once again, just reminds me of South Pass Days, which will be going on this weekend as well. I'm looking forward to that Sioux City sarsaparilla that they've got over there.
One more reminder, we've told you a few times, but Vince and myself will wrap up our coverage as soon as this parade is over, but we are back with you around 2 o'clock this afternoon here on the YouTube channel, where Shireen Herrera and Scott Fuller will be in DuBois, bringing you the DuBois 4th of July parade, which has become a big deal over the last few years, and it'll be fun to check in on that for anybody who's not able to make it up there to DuBois. The Academy of the Winds coming through. Speaking of cute kiddos, some water fun. Academy of the Winds celebrating the life of kids in the American West.
And the American West is well represented with their float right now. That's awesome. They've got hay barrels, regular barrels. They've got a jail cell, it looks like, for some of the kids who don't behave themselves.
That's where my 4-year-old needs to go.
Right. Your kiddos are right now about to get sprayed by their water guns that they have. They look like they want it to happen right now, too.
Say hello to a few more folks watching along. Thanks to Jenny for chiming in and being along with us. Also, thanks to username Parkhurst30. They're watching while baling hay in Ethity. We were just talking about hay bales on that float there. So
that's awesome.
Somebody out in Ethity watching along on the parade while baling hay right now. I want to say hello from Al and Danita Baldez watching along. And Al and Danita also saying congratulations to Stephen and Minnie on their wedding, which takes place on Saturday. So Stephen and Minnie, not sure who you are, but if you're watching, if you're listening, congratulations on getting hitched this weekend.
Yeah, congratulations to them, and just thanks again to all of our viewers and listeners for letting us know where you're watching and listening from. That's so cool to see how many people are tuning in, because once you've been to a 4th of July in Lander, it kind of becomes a thing that you want to check in on. Those posts that we put out on County 10 of the photos and the roundups and everything are always mega popular because people have such fond memories of their time here.
It's kind of an addicting event. I've been doing this since I was a kid, so I just grew up with it and realized now as an adult that I'm lucky that we've had this event and 4th of July's like this in our own backyard. But I've got family members from northern Colorado that come up every year just because they came once and realized how great it was, and now they never want to not celebrate a 4th of July here.
100%. And, you know, a lot of the, like you mentioned before, other 4th of July celebrations are great, but it's just something different here in Lander, and that was one of the things that drew me to this area from Ohio. I've been here for 14 years now. First week I came out here was the week of the 4th of July, and I got to experience that firsthand. And I just look forward to it every year.
If this is your first experience in Lander, Wyoming, you might think the entire town is completely crazy. It is not like this every single day, but it is a great place to be and a very giving, usually quaint community. But I think it doubles in size on the 4th of July because so many people come over here for the fun. And it is kind of a free-for-all with all the fireworks and festiveness.
I always say it's controlled chaos at its best. It's everyone coming together to have fun, but then it's amazing because right at midnight, everyone cleans up. It does every year. Some people imbibe a little too much and they have to wait until the morning, but for the most part, people are cleaning up after themselves with all the fireworks, all of the barbecue leftovers and everything, and that's another thing I'm looking forward to today. There are a lot of backyard barbecues going on.
Yeah, it's a great reminder to enjoy yourself, party, and have fun, celebrate Independence Day with friends and family. But, if you are doing fireworks, if you're throwing a party, clean up after yourself, respect your neighbors. Fireworks are supposed to end at midnight tonight, so if you're thinking about 1 a.m. fireworks, just don't. Hold off on that.
Yeah, just don't.
And thanks to the Lander Police Department, Lander Volunteer Firefighters, local EMS groups who make it so that we can have a safe, fun place to enjoy the 4th of July. Rising Stars Gymnastics coming down the line now after a brief pause in the action. And Vince and I both mentioned earlier in our broadcast coverage that this is one of our favorite floats because there is a trampoline in the back of a moving vehicle, and these incredible young gymnasts are doing all kinds of different routines that you'll start seeing on your screen here very soon. But think about doing this where the ground is level and stable, and then think about doing it in the back of a moving vehicle. As Rising Stars Gymnastics continues to impress. Got the Red Tum Motorcycle Club, led by Ted Enos, right behind him as you see the gymnasts, but you got to hear those motorcycles right behind him. That's another thing that's going to distract the gymnasts, I would think, is these crazy, loud motorcycles behind them. Motorcyclists bringing a lot of candy to the parade, too. That was a healthy handful. Vince Tropay and myself be back with you tomorrow morning on KOVE's Today in the 10 show. 1330 AM, 107.7 FM, always streaming at county10.com with more community conversations, information, news, sports, weather, everything you need to kick off your day on KOVE. These motorcycles loudly revving their engines going past us. Vince, while you were shooting photos, I said, imagine trying to do tumbling exercises in the back of a moving vehicle and then look behind you and you've got a dozen very loud revving motorcycles to distract you even more.
That shows the intense concentration those girls have.
If they can concentrate through that, they can do well in all of their competitions, I'm sure.
100%.
Some concessions coming by, cookies, cotton candy, Gatorade, as there's no shortage of snacks and beverages at the Lander Pioneer Days Parade. See Matt's Mini Excavating coming through now. Small job excavating, dirt work, tilling, gravel driveway repair to help with all of your projects.
And we got a rival unicycler.
Oh,
he's not dressed up as Cat in the Hat, but I'll give it to him.
There's a second unicycler, in fact, a third unicycler in our parade coming here very soon. There you can see him.
This one's got a top hat on. They dressed up a little bit more. It's not taking the top spot away from Todd and his Cat in the Hat costume, but I think all the unicyclers have to band together and have their own little mini float next year.
I don't know what Cody's got going on, but we've got to have more unicyclists per capita than anywhere else in the state, too. I'm just going to declare that right now.
an alarming amount of them here in Lander as well.
Fremont County Fair ambassador is coming through, and as we talk about summer fun, the Fremont County Fair is not too far off. That happens late July, early August. Figure 8 races again this year. 2 nights of figure 8 races. Bunch of rodeo fun, and they've got jousting coming to the Fremont County Fairgrounds.
Okay.
FremontCountyFair.org to get all the details, and County 10 thrilled to be a part of the fair activities once again this year.
And like you said, that'll be here before. I can't even believe that today's the 4th already. Here we are on the 4th, and we're already looking forward to things at the end of July coming up. Summer
in Fremont County is so great because there's so much to look forward to, and every weekend you get something else going on, but it does fly by fast when you're having fun. The Eastern Shoshone Entertainment Committee, floating committee members, and drum group coming through right now. We will do our best to put a microphone on and listen to a little bit of the drum group here from the Eastern Shoshone Entertainment Committee. 4th of July coverage continues. Jared Anderson, Vince Tropeo with you. Hope you're enjoying the sights and sounds of downtown Lander, Wyoming. Starting to see the fire trucks near the end of the parade making their way slowly this way as we slowly but surely near the conclusion of this year's parade.
Yes, one of those rare times, too, where you don't want the parade to end. You want it to keep on going.
Especially with this weather. I know we've mentioned it a few different times, and it's got to be driving everybody who can't be here watching on YouTube nuts that we're bragging about how great it is, but it is beautiful today. Normally, it's either, like we've mentioned, just a little too chilly with clouds and rain, or it's 120 degrees, and it is neither. It is just perfect this morning. This is George Harden with the Native American camp scene and Native American items on this float. And Patty Baldez from the Wind River Tribal Buffalo Initiative will follow. Again, thanks to Maggie Appleby coordinating our efforts this year, stopping by, doing some interviews, and helping host this fantastic time that is the Lander Pioneer Days Parade. Maggie did mention in her conversation with Vince that they're hoping for more bands in the future. A lot of the school marching bands don't get involved because it's right in the middle of summer. And saying they're hopeful to put out a call for more area bands to be involved. Patty Baldez going by, some side-by-sides and four-wheelers coming through now, and a crowd favorite every single year, Justice Jacobs from State Farm Insurance and his team in a wagon with some 4-H kids. These horses are part of the parade often, and Justice Jacobs and his team have become a bit of Lander legends with this parade float.
And not only with this parade, but they go all over town at a bunch of community events and let the kids do little wagon tours and everything like that. I know at Apple Fest and a few of the other Pioneer Museum events they've got. That's just cool to see.
Starting to hear and see the fire trucks as the conclusion of the parade is coming up here very soon. We're going to sign off quick and try to not get our equipment completely soaked in firefighter hoses. So we'll start to wrap up here slowly, but Vince, appreciate you jumping on the broadcast, being part of it again this